What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here with my Season 2 season premiere review of Marvel's Cloak and Dagger on Freeform. Now, you already know, if you ain't seen it, come on back, because it's going to be spoilers, and I don't want y'all to be like, Jay told me everything, and I wanted to wait to see it myself, so I'm letting you know now, it's going to be spoilers. Yo, first and foremost, I am so happy this show is back. I was super excited after Season 1. If you haven't checked out the majority of my reviews there, go check them out. You'll know I was nervous as hell at first about this series. When the series premiere came out, I was like, man, this is going to be on Freeform. It's just going to basically be Dawson's Creek with superpowers. And little did I know, it was going to turn out to be completely different. It has a much darker tone. It felt like a Netflix show. And so I was happy as hell to see this one. This kicked off very interesting, okay? Because if you remember the events from the last episode, after they basically saved the city and the world, in a sense, now we see Tandy getting back into ballet as her older self. Because when we first saw her in the first season, it was younger Tandy doing ballet before her father passed, and she hadn't done it since. Well, now she's back in ballet, and we see Ty out here actually robbing drug dealers. He's using his abilities for good. You know, he's teleporting in when drug dealers try to make drop-offs, stealing drugs and money and everything. And you also go and see that Tandy and her mom are in group therapy now, trying to fully rebuild their relationships. And I think that's so dope. We know a lot how Tandy was estranged from her parents. Her mother kind of was like, you come in when you come in, you leave when you leave, whatever. And now you got Tandy going in therapy with her moms to get her shit in order as the family. And that's super dope. Ty is still on the run from the police because they like, yo, you killed O'Connor. You're the last person seen him alive. So, you know, we clearly think you murdered him. Ty's still on the run from the police. He's living in the church, as we saw at the end of the first season. And now, on top of robbing drug dealers and trying to clean up the streets using his abilities for good, he also uses his ability to check in on his parents. You know, he teleports in spots where they can't see him, and he checks in on Evita. Evita was his girlfriend of sorts. I don't know if they were official, but Evita also, her and her aunt, helped Ty learn what was going on with his abilities and how voodoo played a major factor into it, which is so dope because they're in New Orleans. Nowlands, you know what I'm saying? We do see Detective O'Reilly back at work. Now, you remember at the end of the last season, she got hit with that blast. And we know this season that Mayhem is coming. Mayhem is a popular villain from the comics, and we're going to get her. And that is who Detective O'Reilly becomes. And we see she's working a job. And at one point, Tyrone teleports in her back seat, scaring the hell out of her. And he's like, yo, here, I'm dropping these drugs and money off and stuff like that. I'm trying to help you clean up the street. And she's like, yo, you can't do that, man. You got to let us handle our job. And as you see, like I said, he's real comfortable with his teleportation now. One of the things that major happens in this, Tandy is in the group therapy, right? And as she's in the group, she hears of a young woman named Michaela who's in the group, who basically shows all the signs of being in a domestic abusive relationship. And Tandy's like, yo, what can I do to help? Blah, blah, blah. Michaela drops her wallet, sees her ID. Tandy takes a picture of it, goes to the dude's house, to their house, her and her husband or boyfriend. Yo, when she goes, dude, after they went through hell in a handbag, dude's passed out drunk on the couch. Tandy take her light daggers, break in the crib, slash up the house, and carves leave her alone on the walls, and then slams the door to make sure dude wakes up. And when dude see it, this motherfucker's freaking out. Let me let you know something. I wake up in my crib and all of a sudden everything is slashed to shit. I'm not staying in that fucking house. I'm getting the fuck up out of there. Pardon my language, but if I just all of a sudden see, leave her alone, I'm leaving her alone, her clothes alone, her food she bought in the refrigerator alone, I'm leaving everything alone and I'm gone. I'm calling the homie like, hey man, I just gotta get in touch with Jesus right now because something happened in my life. You know, things like that. Ty, on the other hand, he's trying to do different things, like I said, and he almost gets jumped at one point trying to make a drug deal, you know, trying to bust up a drug operation. Not even a deal, a whole operation where they got the women cutting up the drugs and nothing but bra and panties and things like that. And if it wasn't for Tandy finding the maps that he left in the church, he would have almost died. So Tandy came in there kicking ass. And then they do have a small argument. Tandy brings up, yo, why aren't you asking me to help you? Why aren't you telling me about this? You know, you shouldn't have to do this alone. We're a team. We're a duo. And Ty has this guilty conscience, you know, with everything like, yo, I don't need nobody. I can do this, blah, blah, blah. They basically resolve all that. And they find out where a big drug deal is going to go down with all like the drug leaders, the gang leaders and stuff. And so they go to this nightclub, which, by the way, it looked really rather spiffy walking into the club. Tandy can do what only women can do. Take a grown man's shirt, just his shirt, a dress shirt, put a belt on, and it is a dress instantly. Like, fellas, we can't do that at all. We can't, we couldn't even wear that like a kilt. Like, it just be, hey, man, you ain't got no drawers on. Yeah, I know why it's like dudes ain't wearing no drawers, no pants. Some people like to be comfortable, like to free ball it, like to roll commando. But as they go in, you know, Tandy was like, yo, I'm gonna give you a signal when things are good to go in there, because Tyrone was just gonna teleport himself in. He planted a recorder in there earlier so he could record the conversation, get all the evidence, and then give it to O'Reilly, right? All of a sudden they look up, it's somebody on the wall, like on the door, getting his brains blasted out. And then all of a sudden they go into the room, and what they see is everybody's murdered. And they ain't got a clue in hell what just happened. Like, everybody's just laying there dead as shit. And that's pretty much what they leave you on with this episode. I'm happy this is back. I'm not going to lie. The action, it builds up. The show has to build up and has to grow on you. I will say this. It's not one of those shows that you can instantly go into watching and you're just like, oh, I'm caught on it. You need a couple of episodes to understand, especially if you don't know who Cloak and Dagger are. Because I think that's the biggest key. If you don't know who Tyrone Johnson and Tandy Bowen are, you're going to be like, wait, what is this? So it's a black dude who teleports and a white girl who makes light knives. You don't get everything that's happened, everything where they come from and what their purpose is and how they fit into the bigger picture. Because, of course, we do know that, unfortunately now for Luke Cage, the show is crossed over into Luke Cage by reference and potentially may cross over into Runaways. So we'll see what happens with that. But if you've seen this episode, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, click on the notification bell. Are you in the Cloak and Dagger? Is it just not for you? Or does this show have to actually grow on you? Let me know below. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington. That's MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. And make sure you join my supervillain squad on Patreon. Patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. It's only $5, y'all. $5 whole. Okay. Also, check out the Mad Titan podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcast listened on. And you know what I'm saying? Listen, what this is a talk about everything that's happening in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. If they wear cape cows and masks and stuff like that, that's what I'm talking about. It is barbershop talk for nerds, so I keep shit A100, and I want you to be a part of that as well, all right? I will holler at you guys later for episode 2. I'll holler at you. I'm out here. Peace.